everyone, and welcome back to this week's live broadcast where we're going to be talking about creating the ultimate soft hand print. Now, there are two things that it comes down to in order to achieve that really soft hand feel whenever we're done printing our apparel. And it is the garment and the transfer type that we're using, or just really any print type, because there are so many different ways that we can print onto apparel these days. One that we're going to be focusing on is heat transfer vinyl. But one of the most common things we get whenever we're working with heat transfer vinyl when we're talking with customers. Hi, Jay. Yes, please comment in if you guys have any questions. Thanks, Jay. It's good to have you back and joining these broadcasts. And please let us know where you're joining us from. I always love seeing where you guys are joining the broadcast from. But anyway, back to our topic. The garment is going to be the first key factor to getting that ultimate soft hand feel, and then the transfer type. So whenever we get into heat transfer vinyl and we're talking with attendees at trade shows or just customers, they are always worried about that feel. It kind of feels plasticky or papery. So we're here at Stahls, we're really good at being super innovative when it comes to our heat transfer vinyl and special effect finishes, or just the way that a transfer feels. All right, so we're going to be focusing on heat transfer vinyl, but one thing we always worry about is that thick feel on a super soft hand garment that ruins the finish of the garment we're applying onto, and even sometimes the drape of it, depending on what fabrications are used in that substrate. So some really soft hand garments incorporate either 100% polyester, some rayon, some modal, and those are all fabrics that can be heat sensitive as well. So those are the first two things we have to look at: the garment and how we're printing it, okay? So there are three different ways you can print to achieve a soft hand. We have screen print, sublimation, and heat transfer vinyl. All right, so whenever they're screen printing, they're using a nice water-based ink that really sinks down into the fibers, so that it has a barely there feel. It looks like it's part of the garment. And with that, they're not using a lot of ink, so it's not very opaque because it's sinking down into the fibers of the shirt. So they have to stick more towards the light colored garments. Also with sublimation, if you're not familiar with that process, we know that it is an ink that transfers to a gas and then applies to polyester substrate. So when we're printing apparel, it has to be 100% polyester, and that is how that ink adheres onto that and has a nice finish. But again, that is another light colored garment option. They can't do dark color garments that way. So what we need is something that's nice and opaque and has a soft hand to it so that we can print on just about any color, or we can actually print on any, not just about any fabric type and color. All right, so that heat transfer vinyl is Premium Plus. And for those of you that were working with it before, you're familiar with that finish. It has a really silky, soft feel. And we actually re-innovated that and put it on a tacky carrier so that we're able to achieve really fine detail in our designs. All right, so we're going to actually be walking through how you can actually successfully cut this product, the weeding process, and then do some applications just so we have a great understanding of how this product works. All right, so I'm going to start at the vinyl cutter. I already have my roll of heat transfer vinyl loaded in. All right, so this is the Premium Plus High Tack. And before we do anything, we want to make sure that we're doing a nice test cut here. So I already have my test cut done. All right, I'm working on the Roland GS24. All right, so and what the Roland does for its test cut is it does a circle, a square, and then a T in there. So whenever I weed this, what I'm looking for is how it's weeding. And then once I see that it weeds fine, I also want to peel back that square and make sure that I'm seeing nice score marks, okay? So I have a nice score, so I know that my heat transfer vinyl, when I send my design, it's going to cut perfectly for me. All right, so I'm gonna load this back in and line up for where I want my blade to start, okay? So I'm gonna go right next to that test cut. I'm gonna set my origin and send my design to cut. All right, I'm using Vector Cut, which is a downloadable program that is compatible with CAD-Works Live. All right, so I'm sending my cut job, making sure I mirrored my image first, of course. And while that's cutting, I want to show you why it's important that you need a new blade for this material, okay? You want to make sure, so that you're not constantly always buying a new blade, that you're even dedicating a sharp 45-degree blade for this product. All right, so I weeded 3 different ones with a blade that was already in the cutter. I cut 3 and weeded 3, and none of them would work for me. All right, so I had to swap out my blade and put a new one in order to get this to cut accurately with the amount of detail that I was trying to achieve. All right, so you can see here, I wasn't even able to finish weeding this because everything just started picking up, okay? The next one, I was still losing some detail up here on my X and down here in this area where that eye came out. And then I was having the same issue here. So whenever I'm working with this product, I want to make sure that if I'm using the Roland GS24, I have a new blade and I'm anywhere between 60 and 70 grams of force. This last cut that I did here was at 180 grams of force because I had a dull blade in there and it still wasn't working for me by just increasing that force. All right, so I swapped out the blade and then I was able to get a nice accurate cut because I had that nice sharp blade, and I, of course, dialed my grams of force back to the 60 and 70 range so that I could get that fine detail and it weed fine for me without having to sit there and pick and it just take up way too much time. All right, so that is how you're going to be able to get a successful cut with this product. And what a lot of our customers are doing now that are loving the product is just dedicating a single blade for it so that they don't have to worry about constantly checking their blade and worrying about dullness. So if you're doing glitter flake or any other thick materials such as 3M reflective or hologram, that's not a blade you would also want to cut Premium Plus with, okay? All right, so I do see some comments coming in. Mike, the weeding panel is a must-have. I agree. And that looks like it's it so far. All right, so if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment in. I'm going to set this here and turn on my weeding panel, which I had forgot to do. But before we weed that and we're waiting for that to heat up, why it's important that we're able to work with Premium Plus High Tack successfully is so that we're able to give that finish that is so sought after in retail, where it's super soft on the garment and it just blends right in with the fabrication that you're applying to. So this is 100% polyester t-shirt, and you can see our product on top, our CAD-CUT Premium Plus, and then this is the competitive product that is really popular in the industry right now for heat transfer vinyl. All right, so you can see how shiny and papery it is. It's starting to wrinkle a little bit. All right, you can actually hear, I'm going to put it up to my mic so you can hear how papery it is on the garment as opposed to the Premium Plus. You can't hear that moving around on the shirt. All right, so you can see the difference, you can feel the difference, having samples like this for your customers to see even. So whenever you do swap out your inventory for what you are using for the Premium Plus, showing them this is going to be a huge beneficial factor for you because they're going to be able to feel that and see how much softer it is on the garment. Okay, so we're going to weed this design, and you can see I have it on the weeding panel. So this is the item that Mike was talking about a little bit ago, and it heats up. So this is going to allow my heat transfer vinyl to release from the carrier a lot faster so that I'm not pulling so much whenever I'm weeding this away. So when we put Premium Plus on a high tack carrier, Premium Plus is known for its stretch and rebound. So when it's on a tacky carrier, there's a little bit more force needed to peel that from the carrier. Because it's heated up, it's allowing that adhesive to activate just enough, the adhesive from the carrier that is, so that I can get this off with an easy pull as opposed to being on a cold surface. All right, so the weeding panel is very beneficial to have. If you don't have anything with a heated surface at the moment, you can test this out with your platens. All right, just hit it with the top heating element with your heat press, and then try weeding it on that heated surface, just so that you can see the difference in how much time is spent in your weeding process. This will speed it up about 50%. All right, so you can see just how easy that is to weed. All right, we were able to do this on the Roland GS24, so that's another thing you want to consider when working with this product is the vinyl cutter that you're using. If you're going to be using a Silhouette or a Cricut, make sure you're always using your cutting mat and using the iron-on setting for that they already provide for that. But make sure that you're using a cutting mat so that it keeps the product nice and sturdy on there whenever cutting. All right, and looks like we're just still okay. All right, cool. So if you guys are working with this product, please comment in and give some feedback on how it's working out for you, whether it's the high tack or low tack, and of course if you guys have any questions. All right, so the first garment that we're going to be applying is a cotton poly blend, right? And it is from Bella Canvas. So Bella Canvas has some of the softest garments in the industry, and that's why I really wanted you to see the product on this material. And again, we're at 280 degrees for this application. So we won't have to risk scorching the garment at all. All right, and my design is a little too big for my platen, which I am so good at doing sometimes. So I'm going to hit this 2 times for the sake of just getting that small area of the top of the transfer to apply accurately. All right, so it applies for 10 seconds at a medium pressure. I'm just going to hit that one more time since that second application was only for 4 seconds. And it is a hot peel, so we can peel this back as soon as it's applied and not worry about cooling. So if you're used to the low tack product, then then it is a cold peel. All right, so just going to peel that up of one area that didn't stick, so I'm going to increase my pressure there and apply one more time. All right, we're good to go. All right, so my pressure was going between a 3 and a 4 whenever I tack that down. So again, you want to be at a medium pressure for this application to get the right amount of pressure for your for it to adhere durably and hold up in the wash. All right, so this is for 50 washes. All right, so you can recommend that to your customers. And again, I'm going to hold this up to the GoPro so you can just see how soft that is on the garment. It's not papery. It just really blends in with that garment very well. So even though it is sitting on top and not really sinking down to those fibers, you can barely tell that that transfer is there. Okay. All right. The next project or application we're going to be doing is a 2-step application so that you can see how easy it is to do 2-color with the product. All right, so this was cut the same way the others were cut. We loaded in the white, cut that out and weeded it, and did the same thing with the Vegas gold. I'm working with a pennant sportswear garment. It's one of their new raglan styles that has the varsity striping on the side. And with this application, I'm going to be able to do that 5-second tack. I'm going to do a quick preheat before placing my design down. But that 5-second tack is going to allow me to do the 2-color application nice and quickly. All right, making sure I'm 4 fingers from the collar and center. There we go. All right, so a quick 5 seconds. Peel hot, making sure not to peel too fast because it does have high stretch to it. We want to make sure we're not distorting it since we have to lay in something and register that properly. I am really pushing my limits here on the edge with this design. All right, so again, for the second application, we are going to apply for the full application. So we'll apply that for the full 10 seconds it needs, peel hot, and then the design will be complete. So just keep in mind whenever you do get 2 color requests, you're able to do this so that you're not slowing down production at all with your heat transfer vinyl. Okay? All right. So with that being said, with the 2 color, there are many colors that we're offering with this product and constantly coming up with new colors to add. So you'll actually see, start of 2019, some more colors roll in, but just be aware some colors did change. So if you didn't get that notification in email or just through video or at trade shows, the colors did change a bit. So you'll notice some, and it's just a few, but we did point that out. So be sure to check that out on the website so you know which colors did change. Okay, so it also works well with mixed media. So we're talking about different colors that we're able to apply together. It's really great for layering as well. So I did want to show you a direct layer application so that you can see how soft we're able to get a direct layered application, which typically tends to bulk up the feel of the transfer on the garment. But when you're using this thin product, it's not going to do that. So we're going to load our garment in. This is Boxer Craft, and it is a 100%, or I'm sorry, no, it's a poly cotton fabric. All right, we're at 80% poly and 20% cotton for this, this specific shirt. All right, so again, we'll tack our first layer, which is our Premium Plus High Tack, for just 5 seconds. So I'm going to lift this up early and peel hot. And then I'm going to take my glitter flake and direct layer that right on there. So notice what I did to keep this nice and thin. So I used a very thin style of font so that it still feels nice and lightweight on that shirt. And then whenever I direct layered the glitter flake, I just did little subtle circles to accent the text there so that it's not super heavy on being layered directly on the Premium Plus. Glitter flake is a 10-second application, so I'm going to hit that again and allow that to finish curing onto the product. Glitter flake is also a hot peel, so we can peel that back. And then our design is done. Okay. So it's nice working with hot peel applications, especially whenever you are doing mixed media such as this. Right? So being able to pair your other media with your Premium Plus High Tack, that is a hot peel as well. All right, and our next application is 100% poly, and this really speaks to the fabric that can scorch under high heat, okay? So this is a anorak style garment that tends to get a heat press box on it. So what we're going to do is unload our 11 by 15 and do a left chest. So I'm going to load in the 6 by 10 platen. And we're going to apply that really intricate logo that has a lot of detail in it, all right? So I'm going to hold this up even closer to the camera so that you can see all the detail we were able to achieve in this transfer, right? So I did need a new blade to be able to achieve that. Quick preheat. Also test my pressure. A little too heavy there. I'm going to pull that back a little bit. All right, reading at a 4 to a 5, so we should be good for application. All right, and I'm just going to line that up center of the outer seam of my collar here. All right, about 6 inches down from there. All right, and then I can apply. All right, so being able to have a 280 application for substrates like this is going to allow us to print heat sensitive items without getting a heat press box or a scorch mark. We'll peel our carrier back. Don't want to distort, so I'm going to go a little slow. There we go. And you can see a little bit of a box there, but that's not from the scorching at all. All right, there's no sheen on there at all. That will come out eventually, even through the wash. Right, so that's not there to stay. Right? Okay, so we'll go ahead and answer any questions that are coming in. Is the weeding panel metal? To my knowledge, this is, yeah, just like a steel metal type of table. All right, do you need a cover sheet? So Rob asked if we need a cover sheet for the application. It's your preference. I don't, the Premium Plus High Tack isn't a finish that I'm worried about sticking to the upper heating element, but if you are doing mixed media and you're worried about glitter flake or anything that could potentially scratch your upper heating element, definitely use a cover sheet. It'll benefit you if you just get used to using that with every application. All right, it looks like we are good on the questions, so we will go ahead and wrap up. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and if you have any other questions, just comment those in and I'll revisit this broadcast later to be sure they're answered. See you guys next time.